Hi, if you're interested in looking at Kate Middleton's astrological chart, and then we will compare the transits or the planets that are making contact with her natal chart, this is the video for you. With all the recent mysteries and attention to Kate Middleton, as an astrologer, I said, I have to just carve out some time in my busy schedule and look at her chart. I started doing this about maybe 2 weeks ago, and it has escalated to such a point where I just said, okay, I've got to do it now. So we will look at her chart, which is extremely revealing as far as her personality and her traits, as far as her cosmic fingerprint. And then we will look at what planets are making contact with her. And I will show you what a real astrologer does. So if Kate Middleton were my client, I would be discussing her chart as if she was one of my clients. The only drawback is Kate will not be able to respond to some of the inquiries because a great astrologer will ask questions. Because remember, each sign, planet, house, each component of astrology has different keywords, and they have a lower vibration and a higher vibration. So depending on the person, that's why we can't generalize and make these generalizations based on a sign or sun sign or a planet, because it varies, just like life. So without further ado, we are going to screen share her astrology chart. And I want you to write any comments below. Let's get some activity going because she's a very powerful woman. I mean, now she's supposed to be the up and coming queen when the changes of the guard take place. And I did do a video on the coronation of King Charles. And I did mention that his reign would probably be short, which I find very interesting. But it was all in the chart. Okay. So you'll just have to forgive me because I do not have a videographer doing my videos. I do this all on my own. So I thank you for your patience, and let's take a look at this chart. I'm going to move this over. So the first thing we see here is, and for those of you that don't know astrology, I will explain it somehow for you so you get a good understanding. So bear with me, those of you that know the astrology very well. So this is the wheel. This is the photograph of the sky, the moment that Kate Middleton was born, January 9th, 1982 at 7 p.m. Now, I got this off the internet, and we're hoping that it's correct. But there's so much going on that, of course, it would be correct, There's because the theme repeats, So this is based on her personality. So this is her ascendant, this is her appearance, and it tells a lot about her will, because this is the I will part of the chart. It's her personality. And then up here, this is her social status, okay? And it's also her career and her profession. And over here are the partnerships, her partnership. And then down here is the root of her chart. So the first thing we're going to look at is what's going on here. Where is there a bunch of activity? So it's on the lower part of the chart. So she's the type of person that would be more involved with her home and her family. It's more subjective. However, she does have a few things going on over here. This is very general. But what I see that's really powerful is not only is her sun next to her node, and so it's during an eclipse. So she was born with an eclipse, it looks like. And from what I understand, royals and eclipses, there's something going on there because they say a lot of the royals were born with eclipses. All right. That's number one. She's a Capricorn and it opposes her moon. So the sun opposes the moon. By definition, she was born during a full moon. And when the nodes are conjunct the moon, and it was a really tight conjunction here with her sun and moon with the nodes, which is your path of life. So that's the eclipse. And according to this, it has to do with royalty, creativity, and this is the house of Leo. So let's jump now. And she's a Capricorn, very earthy, grounded, but always looking for accomplishment and achievement. All right. The big picture. Over here is Leo again. So here's her sun in the Leo house. And here's the ascendant, Leo. Leo is the king of the zodiac. Is this crazy or what? I just love doing these charts. So then let's look here what is going on with the other planets within about a 30-degree range, which means by definition, it's a stellium, but it's in two different energies, in Sagittarius and in Capricorn. Sagittarius has to do with worldwide, with rights, with justice, with ethics, with different cultures, the big picture, okay? And it's Black Moon Lilith and Neptune. Neptune rules fashion, beauty, like artistry, artistic. And I believe she went to school, her higher education was for art. There it is. But there was this very interesting dark moon Lilith next to Neptune, which has to do with the way she studied her art or dancing, music, or maybe the art that she liked had an empowering type of energy. But that's something that only she could tell us. And then this area here is Aquarius, all right? And we know that Pluto's in Aquarius, which would be right around here. And it's going to approach her planet of communication and love and money, okay? So her daily life is all about being in the news, daily life. This is the house of daily life, habits, job, activities, every day, what you do, and of service. And then this is Venus. They're always taking pictures of her. That's a form of communication. They're always talking about her. I mean, the whole world is freaking out. Where's Kate? Where's Kate? So this is just her birth chart. Are you with me so far? Do you like this? To me, this is just so exciting. And so this also shows at the top of the chart, she's very much interested in, for career, comfort, money, security. That's at the top. And she's got that planet of healing and pain and suffering over here in this chart. Well, it's very interesting if we want to know more about how she's going to help heal in her profession. If you think about it, she's one of the royals that everybody likes after Princess died. Everybody loved her. And it was like questionable with whether anyone could fit in Princess Di's shoes or come close. But this woman has come close. So it's fascinating to me. And if you see here that the planet of luck in the home life, and if you know the story, her mother did some very Scorpion things to arrange for William and Kate to get together, with the schools and things like that. So she kind of nudged the situation. But see, at the bottom of the chart is Scorpio. Scorpio is sex appeal. It's at the root of her chart. And it's also about secrets and being very private. So here's an individual that has to always be in the limelight. She's always being followed around in pictures and talked about because it's communication. And it's also an Aquarius, excuse me, which means it's worldwide. Excuse me. Everybody wants to know. But yet, for her, she loves her independence. So that's kind of a tricky thing. I wonder how all this is turning out. But down here, it's very much about expansion in the area of Scorpio. She probably has an astrologer or is into all the woo-woo. Okay? Very private and is into very emotional as far as passion, a lot of passion. Okay. So she's got her work cut out for her. But the other thing that I always want to look at is these quintiles in the chart. And she's got a number of them, which shows urgency / obsessions. And then, so I didn't talk much about her moon, but her moon is in Cancer. And Lady Diana was a Cancer. So that's interesting right there. And so emotionally, her purpose is to be the nurturer, the mother. And she's the mother of the community, you see? And she nurtures the community. It's a big job. And so this dotted line with a little sextile here, this is all astrology language, but that's how she heals in the profession. She's the nurturing person for England or the royal family. You see? And there was a special attraction with Queen Elizabeth because her sun and her south node were in an earth sign. And Queen Elizabeth's sun was Taurus. And both earth signs. So from there, they connected. And there's far more, but that's going to be another video coming up. Her greatest joy, success, and prosperity is her partner. Greatest joy, success and prosperity. Her husband. What do you think? Is this crazy? This is why I love astrology. And the partner is sensitive, it's magical, no structure, no form, that very empathic type man is what would resonate for her. A humanitarian and someone that's very compassionate, selfless, charitable. Okay? So we didn't look at the Saturn, but Saturn in the third house has to do with communication. And we could look at her early learning and things. If there was something going on, I would question to see if she had any kind of difficulties with bullying situations, anything like that. And see, because there's also some kind of urgency and obsession going on with the career, with restrictions, and Saturn and Pluto together in relationships. So that would be more on the private side. But she's got three planets in Libra. One is a conjunction, and the whole thing would be a stellium. So Mars is in Libra. Mars is drive and action. So she's a people pleaser right here. And then we got Saturn, which is she needs to set boundaries on people pleasing. And then many relationships that were transformational, a lot of endings and beginnings. So do you see how this whole thing pans out? So because we don't have her here to discuss the chart, I just think it was fascinating because, I didn't speak to this, but the sign of Gemini, which is communication, is in the area of community, the world, the humanitarian efforts, all that right here, you see? And so the ruler of Gemini is Venus, is next to Venus, which is Mercury, and that's all about Aquarian energy, which is a natural sign for the 11th house. And Aquarius is all about science, the future, technology. So very interesting chart. And then for the career, if we want to say more about her career or social status, we go right here to Venus. And it's next to, again, this communication planet, which would be, always in the limelight every day. And electronics, she's on videos everywhere. So now let's look at what's going on right now. And we could go back. If this computer program behaves, we're going to go and look at the chart now. And we could see that back in, so this is a little bit of a glitch, and I apologize. So let's just look at right now. So back in January, when she disappears from the public eye, something sudden and unexpected had to do with her healing over here. She had surgery, right? And Jupiter, the planet of expansion, comes into the picture, and it's even a bigger deal. Jupiter expands things, it makes things bigger. So this seemingly very quick thing in and out of the hospital turns into, you'll be able to see Kate in 3 months after Easter. That's a long time, especially for someone that's always in the public eye. Okay. So over here, we're having major transformation in her everyday life. Losses and beginnings, doors closing, new ones will open. But these are irreversible changes. I'm curious to see how this is going to pan out. I'm not going to speculate. I'm just giving you the astrological findings, okay? Because we don't want to start the rumor mill. There's so many accusations, and it's not fair to the other person. We have to be ethical, all right? But I'll tell you what, if I spiced it up and said, oh yeah, she probably had plastic surgery, because it was, next to Venus, and here's Mars over here, and that means that, that's under the knife, and she's spending a lot of money on it, and it has to do with beauty. It could be. I mean, we don't know. But until we know, I mean, it also, because, um we have air, and it is a trine over here. So when you get Pluto and Mars together, that could be something really bad, like a death or something like that. So just have an open mind. And then there's a lot of action and drive and maybe hostility, anger. It's that aggressive type energy uh in her partnership house. Okay. So action. I like to keep it neutral. So there's a lot of action, but it'd be, could be all kinds of action. But we'd have to know the truth first, and then we could show you how it plugs in. There's also a lot of love and a lot of confusion in this area. And usually when there's a Saturn, that could denote a separation because it's restriction. It's Saturn in the 7th house of relationships, marriages, and stuff like that. It's common. So I'm just putting it out there. We don't know. We'll see though, hopefully. So, and we always, on the transits, we look at the slower moving planets. The other thing that we have to look at is this means unexpected and shocking changes, and it has to do with who she is in this royal position that she's in. 20 degrees Taurus, 20 degrees Leo. And they're fixed, so that means it's a square, which is a struggle. She's going to have to do something. Something has to be done. Okay? And it also has to do with her partner, but it also has to do with this aggression. I find that very interesting. So I'd like to know what you guys think. And then more sudden and unexpected in the home life. This means that she's moving. She could be moving. All right. Family disturbance of some sort. This Sagittarius has to do with risk. It has to do with freedom. It has to do with let's just be adventurous. And it has to do with values, ethics, and beliefs. Okay. And that's with her. So there's a lot of other activity here. Now, the healing and her life purpose, new beginning, has to do with the Sagittarius house, which has to do with the big picture. And I think she's seriously looking at, what is my purpose? I got to heal this whole situation, because it's a healing and it is trauma and wounds. And it's affecting her purpose. So, and it also is, she's got to let go of the people pleasing part of her life as well. And there's also a square, which is again a struggle, conflict between this healing and her purpose in life to who she is, her son. So that would again point to some sort of maybe procedure. And because it's in this area here, this is the love house, the Leo house, and it's the creativity house, you know, and it could be surgery, you know, because it's square to the knife over here. Anything is possible in this chart, but only Kate knows. But I just wanted to give you the astrological findings of Kate Middleton's chart. And we could speak more and more and more about it. But when it comes to her shared resources too, there's a lot of confusion here. And let's just see how that is going to pan out. And we don't know how that's going to affect her, but it's also making a square with her natal Neptune and Black Moon Lilith. So there's something very powerful, maybe on the shadow side, on the low vibrational side, when it has to do with fantasy, film, music, anything where you escape. So maybe she had plastic surgery, but it's interesting to see what the truth really is. But this is a definite square here. What's going on now in the world and how it affects her natal chart. So please comment below. If you like this video, you know what to do. Give it a little thumbs up. If you like to hear more from me, go ahead and subscribe. We try to put out predictions once a month. And if you want to see daily stuff, you go on TikTok. And that is the quickest stuff that you could get. And if you need to do a reading, psychic medium, and or astrology, you could just hop on our website, Holistic Healing Astrology. I thank you very much. I hope that this has enlightened you, and feel free to make your comments known below. God bless you, love you, and have a good rest of the night.